This is the second part of an earlier video in which we understood method overriding in Java. For a recap, when a child class contains a method with the same name and signature as its parent class but with a different implementation, then this is called method overriding. In this video, we will understand conventions or rules when defining overridden methods. These rules are very important from interview perspective and happen to be very common questions in interviews. If you did not watch the earlier video, then do watch it. Link is given at the top right corner. We took an example of a class hierarchy, where animal is a parent class, with two child classes, cat and dog. Child classes override a method, called makeSound, defined in parent class. Let's understand the rules straight away. First rule of method overriding is that the signature of the method in the subclass must match the signature of the method in the superclass. This means that the method name, return type and parameter types must be the same in terms of number and their data types, in both the superclass and the subclass. Even if the names of two methods are same, but we change parameter types or their count, then it becomes method overloading, not overriding. If we change the name of method in child class, then it becomes a separate method, which is only defined in the child class. Changing return type can be a bit flexible, and we will come to that in a second. The second rule of method overriding is that the access modifier of the method in the subclass cannot be more restrictive than the access modifier of the method in the superclass. For example, if the method in the superclass is declared as public, it cannot be declared as private or protected, since these are more restrictive than public. This will be a compiler error. The third rule of method overriding is that the subclass method cannot throw a checked exception that is not declared in the superclass method. So, modify the child class overridden method to throw an exception. Look, there is a compiler error. However, the subclass method can throw a checked exception. But this exception should be a subclass of the exception declared in the superclass method, or it can throw an unchecked exception. So, if the parent class throws an IO exception, then the child class can throw IO exception, or any of its subclasses, such as file not found exception. It cannot throw exceptions which are unrelated to IO exception, or are higher in hierarchy to it. Fourth rule of method overriding is that the return type of the subclass method should be consistent with parent class method. If the parent class method does not return a value, then the subclass method can also not return any value. Change this to string. Look at the error. It clearly indicates that the return type of overridden method is different from the return type of parent class method. If the parent method returns a value, then the data type of value returned by overridden method can be same, or a subclass of the return type of the superclass method. This means that if the superclass method returns an object of type animal, then the subclass method can return an object of type animal, or any of its subclasses. Note that the return type is the subclass of the return type of parent method. This is called covariant return. This error refers to missing return statement, since we are declaring a return value, but not returning it. Fifth rule of method overriding is that static and final methods cannot be overridden. Static methods belong to the class, and not to any instance of the class. So, it does not make sense to override them, and hence, this is not allowed. Let us check. Change parent method to static. Look at the error in child class. A final method means that it cannot be changed by the extending or child classes. And overriding means that you are actually changing the method in child class. For this reason, final methods cannot be overridden. Change the superclass method to final. Again, look at the error message, which says it all. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.